Hey, what's up, everybody? It's me, your hero, Benjamin Banks, and you're watching a brand new episode of Leveling Up with Benjamin Banks. And on tonight's episode, we are reviewing Wandavision episode 9. And joining me, as always, are my co-hosts Trav and Rebellious D. How you fellas doing today?
Chilling.
Ready to rock, man.
Always.
Hey, it's good to see you guys' faces. And joining us from the Oscar Worsty Podcast is Paul Workman. How you doing today, Paul?
Doing all right, guys. How you doing tonight?
Good.
Doing pretty
PW in
good.
the house, bro.
Doing really good, man. So before we get into today's video, make sure that you like this video, you subscribe to this channel, and you hit that bell button so that way you're always notified whenever we have a new video out. So let's go ahead and get into today's video. So guys, this is the final episode and it went out with a bang, man. Like I was hyped when I was watching this at the gym. I dropped my jaw so many times when I was watching this. I love how it started right after the last episode where Agatha, she had the twins chained up with her magic and she ended up releasing them. And it was a great way to start the episode. I didn't think that she was going to release them like that. And her and Wanda, they just went right into it. Starting with you, Paul, because I know it's been a minute since we had you up here. The last time we had you up here was on the Wonder Woman review. So,
yeah, I was afraid you guys were going to have me back after that.
Well, honestly, Paul, I didn't want to bring you back, but Trav hit me up. He was just like, "Hey, Paul wants to come on for the final video." So I was just like, you know what? As long as he doesn't say anything crazy, we can go ahead and have him on. So,
well,
Paul,
I'll see you guys later then.
Say something crazy.
So, Paul, what was your take on? Well, first, let's go back to episode 8. Like, what was your take on that, and then transition into the beginning of episode 9?
Episode 8 was kind of a okay episode for me. I thought it was way too much exposition. They just talked entirely too much through the episode. And it over-explained way too many things for me.
He don't want to be talked to like a toddler, is what he's saying.
Yeah, he said, give me more action.
It's like they had all these things that I felt like they really could have broken up and put out through the entire show as like morsels of information, but they did it all in one episode. So it really kind of threw me off. And coming into this episode, I was like, all right, if we can hit the go home, I'll be good.
Yeah.
And I thought they started out pretty strong with Agatha holding the kids still, and the first line of the episode being Wanda saying, I can use my magic out here. And Agatha saying, well, I'm counting on it.
All right.
Just blast her. And it was a good start to the episode. Right up front with the action. I do like a lot of action.
Mm-hmm.
Damn right.
Man. It's like I wasn't expecting to get right into it, but I'm glad that the episode did start that way. And Wanda, she ended up throwing a car at Agatha. And I loved how when the car was on top of her, her feet started disappearing like the witch in the Wizard of Oz. D, how did you feel about the opening to this episode?
Oh, I was ready to go, man. I knew it was showtime. I mean, they got all that exposition out of the way, like Paul said. So it's time to go. It ain't no way but up, baby. So
yeah, I know. I don't know what this dude Banks talking about.
Yeah.
I didn't expect them to start off like that. They better.
They left off like that.
They better. Exactly. What else are they gonna do?
They're gonna take a tea break and then come back outside.
We don't need that Frieza 5-minute monologue. Okay?
No.
We need some action.
Yeah,
another backstory.
Yeah, and it was cool because it's like throughout the entire season, it's like we really didn't get a lot of action for real. And when we finally got to this episode, like it started off with a bang. Like I said, White Vision, he ends up showing up, and Wanda, she's shocked when she sees him, and like he's just like Wanda, and like talking to her like it's the old Vision. And I mean, it is the old Vision, it's the real Vision. And he grabs her head like your boy Gordon Ramsay when he put the bread on,
now,
on the girl.
I do have a problem with that though.
What the White Vision?
Well, first off, sir, the politically correct way to say it is Vision White. So it's not White Vision.
I thought he was about to say
White.
Caucasian Vision.
I thought he was going to say Caucasian Vision.
Easy now.
What I hated about the head squeeze was that he's giving her the head squeeze and you hear the bones cracking and stuff.
Yeah.
And nothing. And I'm like, well, why'd you put the bones crackling? If you could hear her skull starting to cave in, but there's no pisical.
Yeah, I was looking for something.
I was like, why did you put it in there? It was stupid.
Yeah.
Well,
I would have been happy with a nosebleed. Something.
They did. Yeah.
Yeah, there was nothing. She was just looking at him.
How your bone crackling, but nothing's happening.
Or if you're gonna do that, at least show her resisting with her magic or something. You know.
Yeah,
like taking some of the impact. Yeah, it was nothing. Yeah,
they gave us nothing.
Yeah,
I don't know, Trav. It's kind of like when you play Mortal Kombat, and it's like when you do the X-ray moves, and all of this stuff happens to the person, and then they just get up like nothing even happened. So
yeah, but Mortal Kombat kind of trash. So.
Hey,
hold on, Rondell.
It's down.
Don't trash Mortal Kombat like
it's down there on the bottom of it. They got more bad games than good games at this point.
Yeah,
so
I can agree with you on that.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Yeah.
It's bad examples, good sir.
I can't talk that one down.
Yes.
They all games.
I'll say that the one thing I really liked about it is the way they introduced. I'm gonna call him Negavision.
Okay.
Negavision.
You know, it's interesting because I know that D was saying that
there's the head squeeze right there.
I was gonna say that D, he had brought up Vision White before and how he was introduced in the comics. And when I was at the gym earlier, I had like something popped up in my head where I remembered Vision White. And do you guys remember the Avengers arcade game?
Like vaguely.
Yeah, vaguely. But Vision White was in that game, and that was the first time I had ever seen Vision White. So how sometimes it's like a memory just pops up in your head from out of nowhere. So that was the first time I had seen him. But it was cool that Vision showed up to save Wanda, and then we get both divisions fighting each other, which was really, really cool. I really got Terminator vibes from Vision White because when Vision had sent him flying into that RV. And Vision White, he just comes not running back, but walking out
the flames.
Yeah, and it was just so cool.
It was cool. It was.
And then also, Wanda, she told the twins to go inside. Their names are Billy and Timmy, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. Just making sure. She told them to go inside so that way that they were safe. Now you have Wanda and Agatha fighting. Agatha, she had used some of her magic on Wanda so that way that she could start draining Wanda's magic from her. Because like we saw in last week's episode, she said that Wanda is the Scarlet Witch and she wants to take all of the magic from Wanda. And Wanda tells her, she's just like, nobody ever taught me how to use magic. This is just something that I've been able to do, So just a really good start to the episode. Then we go back to outside of the Hex where Hayward, he's getting ready to waiting for that opening to get inside the Hex so that way that he can kill Wanda. And he has Agent Wu handcuffed, and Agent Wu, he tries to bribe him. He tries to bribe Wu and let him know like, hey, you should join us and whatnot. And Wu's just like, nah, like you're going to go to jail because of, the tamper with video footage that showed that Wanda kidnapped Vision. And he's just like, nobody's going to believe that once I say what happens and whatnot. And, it was interesting. It was interesting. D, what was your takeaway from all of this? And I mean, I know that we've said that Hayward is a scumbag, but did you think that he was going to get away with everything?
Come on, bro. Not a chance. Hey, not a chance. He's a second-rate backwater villain. He wasn't going anywhere. They were going to lock him down. I had a feeling they were just going to lock him up. And do away with him. At least for right now, he might get busted out in Falcon and the Winter Soldier for all we know. Who knows? But he wasn't that significant. Yeah. Trav, what was your take on it?
Yeah, I agree.
He's
insignificant. So
yeah. If they weren't going to have him be someone like Mephisto or another villain in disguise, then
nobody cares about that
there
guy.
Was no point to him. In fact, I really felt by the end of this episode, he just became useless for the
he was like a catalyst. Yeah. That was it. He was a reason to get the other Vision involved.
If they wrote Crossbones off and they've actually gave Crossbones something, this guy stood no chance.
You're right about that.
Off the show quick.
He ain't got no powers or nothing.
So, Paul, I wanted to ask you. We see that I'm mad I can't remember what his name is, but Pietro, the guy that was playing as Pietro, he has Monica
Evan Peters?
Not Evan Peters. No, I mean like his name, because Monica says his name.
You're talking about
Boner.
Yeah.
Ralph Boner.
Ralph Boner. Thank
The
you.
greatest name ever created in the MCU. F the haters, bro.
Hey, you're gonna see that name somewhere on the PSN soon. Watch. Ralph Boner.
There's probably already like 7 Ralph Boners on PSN.
Oh yeah. They're mass producing those.
How did you feel? Because like up here, we thought that he was going to be more of a bigger role. Because I thought that it was Agatha's son. But we saw that it wasn't. So what were your thoughts when you see that, he had Monica captured and he was keeping her at bay so that way that she couldn't help Wanda and Vision?
I mean, I like that as a subplot. The thing that bothers me about the plot twist with him, of course, my dogs are fighting right in front of my computer now. My problem with the plot twist with him is how does he suddenly have Quicksilver's powers?
Yeah, because it's Quicksilver.
But
I mean, I think it was just part of the spell.
Yeah, how is it? I'm just curious how a witch is able to recreate that for.
Well, this is my theory. Okay. I believe that the Quicksilver from the MCU was working some sort of undercover or in some sort of witness protection, and he chose the name Ralph Boner because y'all can't tell me that name Ralph Boner doesn't sound like something the Quicksilver from Fox wouldn't come up with.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. It sounds just like the way he laughed too. He's like, Boner. You know what I mean? Like it had him written all over it, dude. So it's definitely him. And we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I think as far as that scene alone goes, I would have liked to see more of a tassle between them. It was kind of like she swept the leg, bro, and that was it.
Huh?
Yeah,
I mean,
she swept
the leg, and then he was like,
"Don't forget, he got the finger poke of doom in though."
Right.
Oh, yeah, he did. Oh yeah, the 1-inch punch.
Yeah,
flung her across the room.
But Paul, to answer your question, I kind of feel like he had Quicksilver's powers because of the necklace that he was wearing. Like, probably. Agatha, she used her magic so that way that she could give him those powers, because you see as soon as Monica tore the necklace from his neck, like he was like, "Don't hurt me, I didn't do anything." But yeah, so moving along, we have Wanda and Agatha. They're fighting in the city of Westview, and remember, like Wanda, she's walking down the street, and then the postman, he's just like, "Hey, I'm just here," you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Don't shoot me, I'm just the messenger.
Yeah, I'm just the messenger. And Agatha, she's on top of the building next to a billboard, and she starts unleashing I guess you can say unleashing like the people from the magic that Wanda has on them.
As she says, they're your meat puppets, I just cut their strings.
Yeah. So this is my thing. Like, do you guys think that when the people, because the first lady is the one who had her hands cut in the second episode, and she starts talking to Wanda, do you think that Agatha was putting stuff in their heads so that way that they would come at Wanda like that? Or do you think that they were coming at her like that because like this is how they really felt? Like, you've had us tied up for so long, and it's like we have family out there and whatnot. Like, one of the girls says that, just please, you can keep me here. Just tell my husband not to come back here. You know what I'm saying? Like, how did you guys feel about that? Starting with you, Trav.
Yeah, they twisted it to where she's now a villain, but not to the viewership, just to the people that are in the MCU, like in the actual show, movies, whatever. To the viewers, we don't view her as a villain, but she's definitely pulled the heel turn, and she's a villain in the series for sure.
Yeah. D?
Yeah, I definitely think that it was just their suppressed feelings and memories. I don't think it was anything more than that, because it's something that reoccurs throughout the series itself. When people are snapped out of it, they're like, "What am I doing here? Where's my?" It's not the first time. I just don't think it was that. I don't think it was her.
Paul?
Yeah, I'm with D. That one scene in an earlier episode where Vision snaps the guy out, snaps the guy out of the fog when they're at the office, and he's like, "Oh, I got to get my dad his medicine. He's sick," and I really think that she is just using what is there to amplify the pain that she is causing.
Yeah.
Yep. And I just want to piggyback off of that. The actor who did that part too, that guy's really good. When he gets snapped out and he does the dramatics and then he just goes right. Yeah, I really like that scene. It's well done.
Yeah, so Wanda, she unleashes everybody from the town. Well, first she puts collars on their necks, and then she, unleashes her magic so that way that they're not under her control anymore. And she opens up the hex so that way that they can escape. And when she does this is when Hayward is just like, bingo, we got action. And then he sends everybody in there so that way that they can kill Wanda. You still have Vision and Vision White fighting each other. And Agatha and Wanda, they start fighting again. And I love how Wanda, she does a throwback to Age of Ultron where she gets in Agatha's head and she takes Agatha back to the Salem witch trials where she's going to try to take Agatha's powers right then and there. But then Agatha, she uses her magic so that way she can strip Wanda of her magic. Both divisions, they're fighting each other. Then they end up stop fighting. And Wanda's Vision, she ends up telling him that, you're the original Vision. It's like your memories are still inside of you. And, Hayward, he's controlling you. You're not just a machine, like you're a person. And he's able to unlock all of Vision's memories before he died. And I really thought that this scene was awesome. I yelled for excitement when I was at the gym when I saw this scene. Also, too, this is something that we didn't touch on last week's review, but Vision White, he has the arc reactor on his forehead.
Right.
And I thought that was really cool. D, how did you feel about both of the Visions fighting each other and then eventually, talking it out and Vision getting his memories back? Vision White getting his memories back, I mean.
A, we don't know where he went, and B, I thought it was a really cool way to defuse the bomb in a way, to have him kind of explain it and then basically hand over his memories. I think it was kind of like a backup to a computer, like he was just backing up his files. And I don't know. I thought it was a clever way to diffuse it.
He ended with that R2D2 C3PO memory backup.
That's right, memory backup.
First, I want to take it back real quick to when Agatha is doing a lot more exposition about the Scarlet Witch and how powerful she is, and that she tells Wanda that she is more powerful than the Sorcerer Supreme. Who of course is Doctor Strange,
right? Who
we will be seeing. We already know that Wanda is going to be in Multiverse of Madness, the Doctor Strange sequel. As for the Vision on Vision scene, I really like that. It's probably my favorite scene of this entire episode.
Double Vision.
Double Vision.
Double Vision.
I can't believe I missed that.
I don't know. I'm digging the Vision on Vision.
Vision on Vision.
Hey, easy now.
That was probably my favorite scene of the whole thing, just because it makes the most sense that you would defeat Vision with logic, especially when you have the exact same power set. And doing the whole Theseus's ship paradox.
Very neat.
It was good. It was good. Probably the best written part of this entire show. And I like that when he touches the arc reactor, you see it glow with the yellow of the Mind Stone.
Yeah.
So you know that the Mind Stone power that you see Vision get created with in the episode before is what he uses to bring that Vision back.
Yeah.
It just kind of bothers me for the rest of the episode that Vision flies out of there and we don't see him again.
Yeah, you don't get any tidbits.
I like it.
It reminded me of when Bruce Banner had left in Age of Ultron. He just flies away on a ship, and then we don't see him until Thor Ragnarok. Trav,
that's why I like it.
What were your thoughts on it?
Well, because now I feel like Scarlet's going to go off the handle, and who's going to be the one to bring her back down to Earth?
Yeah,
Vision. And I can't wait to see exactly how they play it off. There's a couple disappointments that I have that we'll get into. But,
what you got, Trav? Roll the dice. What we got?
Well, I figure we'll talk about it when we get there.
Okay.
Towards the end. Okay. I don't want to already go into the mid.
Hey, I was about to say, just roll the dice, brother.
But no, I really have no problem with the actual episode itself.
Yeah.
It was pretty action packed. Story was great. We pretty much got a wrap up on everything that we had questions for the most part.
Yeah.
I like Vision defeating Vision with logic.
Yeah.
And
cleverly written.
And this wasn't as I thought I know Paul kind of thought they talked too much last episode, but last episode to me got me like super emotional.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And the ending didn't get me as emotional as last episode did.
I think that they handled the ending of the episode as well as to be expected, because I think at some capacity we all knew what was coming. And they still delivered to, as well as it could be. Now, I want to ask y'all, especially while we have Paul with us, Trav, now we talked, weeks ago when we started reviewing this. How do you feel about the conclusion to the series with it being dry most of the way through?
Right.
And then you get like the plot twists and stuff. Do you think it all came together well?
So this is my thing. I'm glad you asked that because I was thinking about this. And of course I've had my issues with the series, and then there's certain things that I've loved about the series. Yeah. But overall, Marvel has like 250 million people to satisfy. So it's pretty much an impossible task. Right. So you got people that started out loving the series, and then as it went on and it got very MCU-ish. Yeah.
The vice versa.
He's calling me out right now.
They're not the same. They just didn't like it as much because it was very MCU-ish. And then the opposite, guys like me, where it was like, it's okay. But now I'm like, see, this is what I wanted. You got the formula. Use the damn formula, and it works every time. But you can't satisfy everybody. And overall, I thought the show pretty much delivered what a first Disneyplus MCU big budget TV show would deliver.
Now let me ask real quick before Paul. I want Paul's answer to this too. Trav, overall, what do you give WandaVision as a whole?
I give it a B.
Okay, I can take that. Paul, how did you feel about it as a complete show? Same question.
As a complete show, I feel it's uneven, and a lot of the exposition was given too clumsily. There are 2 entire episodes I could have just completely left out or chopped up and put throughout the rest of the series. One discussion I was having today was I kind of would have liked this episode to have been 2 episodes and done what the Game of Thrones formula is, where they would do a 10 episode season. And the 9th episode would be the episode where everything popped off. Like you got the red wedding in the 9th episode.
Right. Yeah.
I can kind of see that.
And then the 10th episode. And then the 10th episode is all the characters dealing with the fallout.
Right. Yeah.
And then setting up the next season.
Well, a lot of people said that 8 and 9 should have been a 1 episode. Not saying that it should have been shorter, but I saw that a lot online. If they would have made 8 and 9 one episode and then wrapped it up after that, they would have been a lot more satisfied.
If they would have let everything just go crazy in this episode and then given us one more episode where we just watch kind of all of the last half of this episode, but a little longer.
You get a little bit more boiled down, conclude. Because I like it. I watched Game of Thrones the whole way through, so I completely relate to that.
And that's what every season of Game of Thrones.
Yeah, but Game of Thrones, where they needed more time, they added it. They didn't really rush through anything really, but the ending.
The final seasons are rushed, but the rest of it, they let the storylines breathe. Exactly. Whether I like those storylines is a different conversation. Right. But the way that they structured them was good. Yes. And the problem I had with this episode, and I'm not saying this episode was trying to be Game of Thrones, but they were trying to do what episodes 9 and 10 of a season of Game of Thrones did in 30 minutes.
Right. Yeah.
I get it.
Yeah, I agree with you on that, Paul, because it's I do feel like when it got to the end, it was kind of just meh, because it's they had to wrap this up because this was the end of the series. But I do feel if 8 and 9 was just one episode where all of the fighting what's going on and whatnot. And then we got a proper wrap up, because I feel like there's questions that are left unanswered, but they're going to be answered once Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness comes out. And
you don't think we get any answers in Spider-Man?
I think we'll get. I actually think we'll get some
Spider-Man.
answers in Falcon and the Winter Soldier. I think that there will be some tie-ins because most of the characters in WandaVision are military personnel.
Yeah.
Right.
Or law enforcement, we'll say. So
Yeah.
And one thing we didn't get a payoff to was the missing persons.
Well, a lot of people think that Quicksilver's that missing person.
Oh yeah,
I've heard that
That makes
theory.
sense.
got
yeah,
thrown
that's a
around
great.
today.
Yeah, that's unfortunate.
I don't personally
something bigger
believe
than-
that,
Yeah, I wanted
but
something bigger. than
there
that.
are people out
Well,
there.
it doesn't make sense because he's already there in Westview.
Right, yeah.
Really, but
Yeah.
continue, Banks. Go ahead.
But I enjoyed the episode overall. Like I said, I enjoyed that it started off with a bang. It was the most action that we got out of this entire series. Like what Trav was saying, because it's like I didn't hear anything about how people they enjoyed it at first, but then it went with the traditional Marvel formula. But I was just like Trav when the show started. It's like I watched the first 2 episodes and I was just this is it. And then it started getting better as the show went on. But I will say that it was interesting how they started it, because it was different. They didn't give us what we wanted when the series first started. It wasn't until we finally got to episode 3, the end of episode 3 is when the puzzle started getting full and pieces were starting to come together. And overall, if I could give it a ranking, I would probably give it a B as well.
Okay,
Yeah.
good deal. I mean, I think I can handle a B as far as my grade too, because I thought it was good for what they were trying to do, but there were some points where they could have cut stuff and added in other places. But as a whole, I liked it.
Nice.
Yeah, definitely something to build on.
I was right around in the B-C+ range.
Okay. Yep.
I am one of those people that I really vibed with the first 3 episodes because
I definitely wanted your grade on this, Paul, because I'm building a file on you right now. So
I was fired up when people started talking about people just can't take a slow burn show or anything. I'm
Mhm.
like, bro, you don't know me, man. Don't tell me I can't take a slow burn show. I just don't vibe with it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and see,
exactly.
It's that simple.
Yeah, it's harder for some people to get. You don't want to wait. Some people don't want to wait.
yes, and that was my thing. I was just vibing with the show because
Right.
it was almost exactly what I was expecting the show was going to be.
Yeah. It was just a weird show with MCU characters.
Exactly.
At first.
Yeah.
And I was kind
Yeah.
of wanting that for the whole series,
Yeah,
personally. I really wanted it to be just weird. Like I put on Facebook at one point, what if they had given David Lynch this show and just complete control of it, because David Lynch is a guy who creates films that are just vibes.
Right. Yeah.
Like you're either going to enjoy it or you're not. You're going to be on its level or you're not.
Yeah.
That's kind of where I was with the first 3 episodes of the show.
And they could do that if it doesn't tie into anything. You know what I mean? If it's just randomness.
It can
But
be.
the fact they wanted it to tie into this bigger story, I don't think anybody was ever going to get that.
I think there's a way to do it to satisfaction, but like you said earlier, there are too many people involved to ever not do what is going to be the mass appeal.
Right, for sure.
Yeah, I will say that I really enjoyed the final battle between Agatha and Wanda.
Yeah.
And, Wanda, she finally becomes Scarlet Witch. And something that I loved was when we see in episode 8, when Wanda, she sees the Scarlet Witch vision, which was the future that, that she saw, and she became what she saw. I've always been a fan of stuff like that. Like when you watch a movie or something and it's like, the protagonist, they see something that's going to happen in the future, but they don't know what it means. And and then when it like on Lovecraft Country, for example, right? Remember when I'm mad I can't remember the characters' names, but the father, what was the father's name on Lovecraft Country?
Damn it.
Jesus.
I can't remember his name
much since then.
It's been so much. But remember when he was a kid, like somebody had saved him.
Right.
And then we find out because he goes back.
It was him. It was his son.
It was his son that saved him. So I always find it interesting when stuff like that happens. I love the fact that
how come they did time travel much better than the MCU? You know what I mean?
It is true.
They
So
wrote time
did.
travel so much better.
Oh, so good.
What the difference is because it was magic compared to whatever quantum physics and all this other stuff that Tony Stark was trying to do. But like I was saying, like it was cool that Wanda, she finally got her costume, she finally got her powers and whatnot. She's the Scarlet Witch, and she defeats Agatha. And when Agatha thinks that she's gonna kill her, Wanda's just like, nah, you're gonna be the nosy neighbor. You're gonna stay here in this town. And I thought that was a good way to end Agatha's character. I didn't know if Agatha was going to, you know, be a supporting character to Wanda, because I know in the comics she's a supporting character.
She's in and out of the lineup.
Yeah, so
Yeah, I think it depends if they have a WandaVision season 2 on deck, because it really feels like they set up for it.
I don't think there's going to be a season 2.
I don't think there's going to be a season 2, but I think they're going to bring her back to teach Wanda how to use her magic.
I think so too.
Yeah, I mean, because remember what Agatha said? She said that you're going to need me to help you when the time comes. So.
Well, she better hope my boy Mordo don't catch up with her first.
Yeah.
Talking about nobody will find you here. All right. Yep. So I actually thought, because she was talking about taking magic from people who don't deserve it and all that, I was like, yeah, she's stealing lines.
I know y'all were wishing for her Scarlet Witch costume. You know,
I actually like the
classic one.
This new one, the classic one, which to me is garbage. It's dated.
Yeah, it's just.
I hate the Loki helmet too. It's ridiculous. I hate that stuff. I just think it's so dated. Her new Scarlet Witch outfit is nasty, boy.
Yeah,
fire.
I didn't think about it until like me and Banks were talking about it the other day. He was watching X-Men Evolutions, and I was like, you know, now that I think about it, the costume she just got rid of with the trench coat is essentially that costume from that show. And I thought that was neat. But I like them giving nods to the classic.
It was cool for the Halloween costumes.
Yeah, and then move on. You know,
just imagine if that's what she wore for real.
Yeah, come on, bro.
It wouldn't work. And
maybe in the 90s. Maybe if they made this in the 90s, it'd be all right. But now,
you know, it just goes back to when X-Men first came out. And remember,
we got a visitor.
They were going to have the original costumes, but they just didn't look well on screen. So, you know, like I said, pretty good wrap up to the series. We see that Wanda, she erases the hex for everybody, and the kids, they end up disappearing. Vision, he ends up disappearing, and we see the end of the episode, like, you know, pretty much Hayward, he gets arrested and whatnot. And we get 2 after credits scenes where
I'm ready to talk about these mid and end credits.
There's a agent that comes and grabs Monica and tells her that somebody wants to talk with her. And one other thing too, we never saw Darcy in the episode. It's like
you saw her once.
Yeah, you saw her once. They showed her.
Oh, they did show. Okay,
she even had a line.
Hit Hayward with the truck, and she was like, "Enjoy jail."
Yeah, enjoy jail.
Oh, okay, really had much to do with it. I was happy with what they did.
Okay, I couldn't remember if they had showed her or not. I wasn't sure, but thank you for correcting me on that. Yeah. But yeah, so we get the mid-credit scene where it's like they end up going into a movie theater, and we find out that it's a scroll. And she's just like, yeah, my boss wants to meet you. It's an old friend of your mother. And I was just like, yes. I was just like, Sword is about to go down in space. So let's talk about this mid-credit scene first before we get to the end credit scene. And Trav, since you said you've been waiting to talk about this, I'll let you start first.
First off, this was way better than the end credit scene, in my opinion.
Yeah,
I agree.
Bro, when she transformed into the scroll and you saw it, and then, you know, you got, I was like, Nick. I was expecting Nick Fury to be.
I like that she didn't name drop.
Yeah,
she said he's waiting. That could be. Yeah, you know, it's probably Nick.
I looked over at my wife as soon as they were like, somebody wants to see him in the theater. I was like, here comes Nick Fury.
Yeah, and they set it up so perfect because it's like she went all the way down to where the screen was, and I was expecting Nick Fury to be up where the projector was and just say, "Hi, Monica." And then that's all I needed to see. Like, he didn't even have to say anything. Yep. He didn't even need to say anything. He didn't even need to say what his name was. But D, what were your thoughts on the mid-credit scene?
I was fine with that. I thought it was coming because, you know, he was we knew it was coming, bro. So I was fine with that one. I mean, I didn't have anything else. Yeah, hey, why not? I wanted to see if he was gonna bite. Yeah. Yeah. Paul?
First off, I like that they set up my boy Randall Park for some future adventures. Because he was like, "Oh, Jimmy, leadership looks real good on you." So I want to see some more Randall Park. I always do. And you know, of course, they had to sneak in Nick Fury's connection to Sword at some point because you know that's the last time we've seen him was running Sword from outer space. So it was fine. I liked it.
But was it called Sword in Outer Space though? Like I just know, like at the end of Spider-Man, he's just working on a project and that's it.
They didn't drop a logo or a name or anything like that.
Right. Yeah. I mean, yeah. So he's running something from outer space. So we knew we were going to get something from him.
Yeah.
Yep.
So now, you know, we get the end credit scene where Wanda, she's at a log cabin somewhere out in the middle of nowhere. And she gets up, she sits on the porch, she gets up, she goes inside the cabin, and she's just doing, you know, just living a normal life. But then it's like the camera, it goes to the bedroom. And, you know, at first I was thinking that Vision was going to be in the bed laying down, you know what I'm saying? Vision white. But we see Scarlet Witch, who has a projection of somebody. So that way I'm assuming if somebody comes to the cabin or something, she can't be disturbed. And we see that there's a bunch of different universes open, and she's trying to find Billy and Timmy. And we hear them say mom in one of these universes. Yep. And it reminded me of Doctor Strange when he was like trying to find
the pages.
No, like when he was trying to figure out like which time was the timeline where they defeated. Yeah, because her head was
the 14 million.
Yeah, very similar. Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, so I enjoyed it. D, starting with you, like what did you think of the end credit scene?
Oh man, first off, this panning shot that they go into, if it had music to it, it would have reminded me. It was very similar to the Jeepers Creepers ending. How it was like the long panning shot, and all you hear is the music, and but very very eerie. Because it was like, what is she doing? So you figured something was up. I'm all for it, man, and I think this might be a way they reel Mephisto in. Actually, I mean, if they're gonna keep it with any continuity to the comic books and, you know, Billy and Timmy, their stores. So,
well, just to piggyback off of what you said, because isn't Multiverse of Madness, that's supposed to be Marvel's first horror film in the series, right?
I mean, they call it a horror film, but it's not a horror film.
I think it's going to be horror light, because when Scott Derrickson said on Twitter that they were going to be doing a horror film, suddenly Scott Derrickson wasn't doing the movie anymore.
Yeah,
my boy Sam Raimi's on it though.
Yeah, exactly.
That's
okay
with that.
Yeah, me too. Big horror movie guy. I got a lot of vibes, like horror movie vibes, just from this show in certain instances, like the Salem Witch, like the zombified witches. That was really cool. It was just certain points that you get it. When she gets she tells her to go down to the basement. The boys are down there. That was very eerie.
You got to when you're dealing with magic. I feel.
Yeah, well, witches. I think
it's gotta be scary.
Yeah, it was the witches. And then you see her kill those people, so you knew you were getting something. Hey. Then the scene they had with Vision, he's on the table and they're like dissecting him basically. Yeah, that was kind of horror movie-esque. Yeah. So yeah, Trav, how'd you feel about the ending?
I totally forgot about the Darkhold until the ending scene when she's flipping through the Darkhold.
I thought it was a book from Evil Dead at first.
Yeah,
but I wasn't about to butcher that.
But it's funny you bring that up because, you know, we were just talking about Sam Raimi being on Doctor Strange. And I definitely think this whole thing of her becoming the Scarlet Witch opens the portal for, you know, these things to come through is definitely going to be the premise behind Doctor Strange. Yeah. I feel like we've already gotten our villain.
Yep.
Yeah, for sure. And, you know, Trav, I wanted to touch back on something that you had said earlier, where it's like now everybody in the world is going to see Wanda as not a villain, but as a bad guy now because of what she did. And that's something that Monica even tells her when she's leaving the town, because it's like people are looking at her like, it's like WTF, you know what I'm saying? It's like you wanted to get your vision back, but in the process, you trapped all of us here in this town. So
well, and she didn't answer for what she did.
Exactly. She just flew. Yeah, she just took off.
Bounced.
So it's going to be very interesting. I know that we've talked about this before, but it's like, Wanda, and even Hayward mentioned this, Wanda, she started off as a villain, and, as the series progressed, she did end up, turning to the side of good, but you got to look at all the things that she's done. Like when she killed the people in Captain America Civil War, and then now this, it's like she just has a bad track record of doing stuff. And it's going to be very interesting seeing how this is going to finish up in Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness. I'm surprised that we didn't see him because I was expecting.
That was my big disappointment.
You didn't get
even if they didn't show him physically, they could have maybe had like something that says, "Hey, that's Doctor Strange."
I was still hoping for Tobey Maguire, bro. I thought he was in the cabin.
Yeah,
old man Toby.
I think it was just the name drops, like how earlier when Agatha had called her greater than the Sorcerer Supreme and stuff like that. Agatha could have been talking about the original Sorcerer Supreme, but I know that Doctor Strange is the greatest out of all of them, so who knows? But with that being said, we're gonna go ahead and wrap this thing up. Thank you everybody that has been watching our WandaVision reviews, and hop in the comments, let us know how you felt about the series finale. Let us know if you liked it, if you hated it, what you're expecting to see moving forward with the series. Are you excited about Winter Soldier and Falcon? Let us know how you felt about everything. Paul, thank you again for joining us. And before we go ahead and end this, let everybody in social media land know where they can find you at.
You can find me on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, and Letterboxd at Father of the Fear across all platforms. And you can find our podcast, Oscar Worsty Podcast, on Stitcher, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Podbean. And you can follow those at Oscar Worsty Pod on Instagram and Twitter, and the Oscar Worsty Podcast on Facebook.
Nice. D, where can they find you at?
Gonna be rebellious _D23 at Instagram.com. Trav?
I love that, man.
Gotta bring that energy, bro.
And it's your boy Trav at ZK Audio on the Instagrams. And what about young Benjamin over here? Where we gonna find you at, good sir?
You can find me, your hero, Benjamin Banks, at KingBenji_Banks on Twitter and Instagram. You can look me up on Facebook by typing in Benjamin Banks. I should be the first person to pop up. If not, then I need to contact Mr. Zuckerberg. And make sure that you follow all of the Leveling Up with Benjamin Banks social media accounts at Leveling Up Banks. That's on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Thank you for watching this episode, and we'll see you We'll see you on our next video review. The next video review that we got coming out is what? Pacific Rim?
Black.
Pacific Rim The Black.
The Black. Thanks for
that drop this week.
Oh, yes. It came out yesterday. It's fire.
Yes.
And
so
then
really good watch.
Winter Soldier coming up.
A review for Raya and the Last Dragon. So be sure that you check those out, and we'll see you next time. Have a nice night, and always keep that pinky up. Peace.
Hey everybody, this is Rebellious D. Thanks for watching another episode of Leveling Up with Benjamin Banks. Please make sure you like, follow, subscribe to the channel, give us a thumbs up, and hit that bell for further episodes and notifications. Thanks a lot to our patrons, and if you don't mind, join the Patreon. We'll be having new specials coming up soon.